All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Lots to talk about today. We will start off here talking about the Xbox Series X and S, the sales of the console, which is kind of surprising when you hear a lot of the chatter about the console not selling and everyone thinking that it is going away and we'll never see another Xbox console again. In the UK, it's actually number 2 behind the PlayStation 5, but ahead of the Nintendo Switch, as Nintendo Switch is clearly looking at the Nintendo Switch 2 coming next year whenever they will give us that announcement. We'll talk about that plus some other things, but if you do enjoy your daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe, share the video, like the video. Also check out my Spotify, link is in the description. So we have this report here about the Xbox Series X and S, that it is now the UK's second best-selling console in 2024 as the Nintendo Switch falls away. This comes via UK data from GameIndustry.biz showing the platform totals, and in second place, as I said, is the Xbox Series X. They say PS5 is comfortably the top selling console once again, well ahead of the second place Xbox Series S and X. Nintendo Switch is number 3 again and has now slipped to number 3 for the entire year. So a couple of things. I mean, the PlayStation 5, if you are one of those people who are always arguing that it's about first-party exclusive games that sell a console, the PlayStation 5 has not been strong on that front for the last 2 years, and it is still a top-selling console. People are buying the PS5 because it is their favorite place to play, whether there are first-party exclusives there or not. They're going and picking it up and they're playing things like Call of Duty. They're playing other games out there, third-party games, and it is going to continue to sell very well for the entirety of this generation. The other thing here is the Xbox Series X and S moving up to number 2. I'm sure they are looking at that and thinking, can they continue to grow that market? Can they continue to try to bring people in to the Xbox ecosystem and to Game Pass through the console by pushing it a bit more? There are some new releases for the Xbox consoles coming this year. There's the Series X Digital, which I don't think is a very good deal. There's also the Series S 2 terabyte. So they are still bringing out more hardware, and we will continue to see Xbox hardware going to the next generation. The whole talk about the console going away, I think at this point, it's kind of absurd when they're still in the 50 million or so sales range. They're not going to be cutting off all of those customers when that is still a nice chunk for people that potentially are going to be spending a bunch of money in the Xbox store or signing up to Game Pass. I always wonder, what is that threshold? If the consoles for Xbox reach a certain threshold of sales where it's like low enough where they look at it and say, okay, now we start to phase out, what would that number be? But I think that is very, very far away. And the other thing here is Nintendo Switch falling to number 3. It's at the end of its console life cycle, but they are going for that record to beat the PlayStation 2 as the best-selling console of all time. They have released new versions of the Switch. They released that new Zelda Nintendo Switch Lite. They're releasing, again, some more OLED bundles that nothing too exciting, but they will sell over the holidays, over Christmas and everything. And people looking to buy a Switch will look to those as the new shiny product. So they are still pushing for that record. I do think that they will get it, but the console sales at this point in the generation generally start to taper off a bit. And we start to see price cuts to bring console sales back up. And we aren't seeing that at all. What we are seeing here are price raises and then a extremely expensive Pro console coming out for the PS5, which will be very interesting to see what the sales numbers on that console is, because that thing is still pretty readily available if you do want to go pre-order one. So those are the console sales. Interesting here to see Xbox moving up to number 2 for the entire year. Now, there are some big sales going on everywhere, and Xbox has its seasonal sale, which includes tons of discounted games. If you're ever looking to add to your catalog, now may be a good time to go check that out, because they have discounts up to like 80% off, 90% off on certain stuff here, like the Sniper Elite 2 Remastered is 90% off. You have things here like the Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered for 50% off. There's multiple different sales. There's the ID at Xbox best rated sales, and then there is the seasonal savings. You have Blue Dragon here 67% off, which is a phenomenal game. But go check out the list if you are looking to pick that up. I always like to talk about these in case people miss those sales. It does end on October 14th, so you still have quite a bit of time to go and jump in and see what games you do want to pick up. Now, we also have some patches that are going to be coming over to the Xbox console. Of course, they always give their monthly update of new features or things to improve the quality of life of the Xbox console. And here's another one that it seems minor, but I actually like this one. And this is a patch that is going to be appearing right now for Xbox insiders. And that means that updates are going to be appearing quicker after this new update does hit. It says Microsoft has detailed the new Xbox Insider update that aims to improve the way its consoles pull patches when connected online. The update, which is out now, will roll out to all users soon and addresses an issue where checking for updates would take much longer than expected or would not load at all. And I feel like I've had that problem happen to me. It's been kind of annoying when the update hasn't loaded properly or they haven't checked for the update when I have it set up to always have my games updated. And then you go in there, you click on the tile to play the game, and it has to update. It's a very annoying feature. It's obviously something here with all of everything being digital and modern gaming where you're always having to update everything for your console. But this hopefully is going to be able to fix that feature. They do mention here that sometimes Xbox consoles don't find the updates until you load the specific game up. And that's what happens to me sometimes. And they say in general, they're hoping that the managed updates area will be more reliable once this fix is out there in the wild. And the insider patch is currently available with the alpha skip ahead users. So we can be expecting this to be rolling out to Xbox players in the coming weeks. Probably once we get this month's big update or next month's big update, this will be in there as an Xbox quality of life feature to help just make the experience that much better. Now, we got a pretty big announcement here for PC. This has been in the rumors for a while here. If you have not played this game, I would highly recommend to go play. And that is Red Dead Redemption 2 and Undead Nightmare is finally coming over to PC. This has been rumored that it was happening and then kind of went away, but it is coming here. It makes complete sense with timing. I mean, Halloween's around the corner. You have Undead Nightmare releasing for it. Probably will get people to want to jump in and play it. But this is a phenomenal game. This is the first Red Dead releasing back on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. One of my favorite games of all time. And now it is coming over to PC with some nice updates that I think will just make this game run and look just phenomenal. Something probably even worth picking up if you've already played it, just to see what it does look like on a nice high-powered PC. But it says that it's coming to PC on October 29th, and here are the PC-specific settings that you can tinker with, and you're going to be able to take advantage of all this stuff. Native 4K resolution, which already off the bat is going to be awesome. Support up to 144 hertz. Ultra and super ultra wide monitor support, mouse and keyboard support, of course, and upscaling technologies with the support for NVIDIA DLSS 3.7 and AMD FSR 3.0, and then NVIDIA DLSS frame generation. And there will also be adjustable draw distance and shadow quality settings. So pretty cool stuff there. Lots of things that will make this game just look shiny and new on a PC. And like I said, it is a phenomenal game. I kind of lean even more towards liking this one more than the second one. I know for some people that may be blasphemy, but I loved the first Red Dead Redemption. I have so many good memories for it, and I definitely am interested in checking this out on PC and just seeing how nice and shiny and brand new it will run and how it is going to look. Now, if you don't want a PlayStation 5 Pro, but you still don't have a PlayStation 5 and you've been thinking about picking one of those up, the refurbished PS5 consoles are now starting to sell, and I guess this is, as I mentioned earlier, there hasn't been a price cut on consoles, and this is where you would kind of see that throughout the console generation lifecycle. And we're still not getting it, but instead you could pick up a certified refurbished console for slightly cheaper than a brand new console. So I guess kind of a consolation for the overall pricing, but still I would love to see just a price cut and like a bundle or something. You just get bundles with a bunch of games added in halfway through the generation, which would push people to go and jump into the ecosystem and finally switch over to the new gen, but that hasn't been happening. But if you're looking for a refurbished one, you can get one of these here. It says as good as new. This is what Sony is promising with these consoles. They've been extensively cleaned and tested and come with a 12-month manufacturer warranty. And in the US, a refurbished PS5 with a disc drive will cost $400. Digital edition will cost $350. In the UK, it will be at £389. So you're saving a bit here. They say you save up to $100 or $90 buying the refurbished consoles, if that is how you want to get into the PlayStation 5. All right, so we have some news here about some more DC games that could be coming out. We've heard the rumors about the Batman game, Rocksteady going back working on that as their next game. We've also heard the rumors that potentially PlayStation is trying to money hat that game and make it exclusive, which I would think if you're Xbox and you're hearing about this talk, you want to do everything you can to make sure that that doesn't happen. I mean, PlayStation already has Spider-Man. You can't let them also get Batman exclusively because these are huge IPs and people will flock to these games. And of course, Rocksteady creating a Batman game will have a big crowd of people that want to play this game. Lots of fans for those Batman games. That's what kind of people were hoping they were going to make. Instead, they made Suicide Squad, which was an abysmal failure, at least commercially, where I think they lost over like $200 million. So they need to be able to make their money back. And one sure bet to make that money back and get a good return on the development of that game will be a Batman game, in my opinion. So that would be really cool if that happens. So that would be pretty cool. But it looks like there is also another DC Comics game that is being worked on here from WB Montreal. This is via a LinkedIn post, and it says looking for a senior producer to join its game development team working on AAA title set in the DC Comics universe. And I did believe WB Montreal was the studio behind Gotham Knights. And that was another game that just did not do very well for them. So WB has had 2 DC games that have not been successes. They definitely need to hit on the next ones that they do put out. Obviously with Gotham Knights, one of the things that I remember was a big controversy that I think definitely affected it was the whole 30 FPS discussion around the console version of the game. A lot of people were hyped for Gotham Knights, and then you would see them come out and say that it's going to be 30 frames per second, and there was a huge pushback and backlash against that because that was earlier on in the generation and people weren't expecting it at that time, or at least that early in the console generation, not even using Unreal Engine 5, all of those things. So they were looking at it, looking at the combat, looking at 30 FPS, and I think that really hurt the overall release of that game. So they need to make sure that they don't have those same issues here when their game comes out, as well as when Rocksteady's game comes out, the Batman game that they are working on. And then we have this. This is a very impressive, not surprising. I mean, Dragon Ball is one of the most popular franchises out there. And obviously with the death of Akira Toriyama is definitely going to be having people wanting to make sure that they experience all of this stuff going forward. But Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has released, and it is currently the #1 top selling game on Steam globally with 94% overwhelmingly positive reviews, and it's in early access. Releases on October 11th, but this is a huge success. And one of the things that we were seeing was that it actually was ahead of Call of Duty in terms of pre-orders at one point. Now, I wonder if that's going to last. I don't think it will. By the time we get closer to Call of Duty, I would assume that it is going to be ahead of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, but this is very impressive and a very good launch. I'm hearing good things about this game. I think it's sitting at like an 84, 85 Metacritic, somewhere along those lines. So it is doing well. It is a good game, and happy to see the success of this game. It's just another game in October that's releasing with good reviews. Metaphor ReFantazio is coming out. You have Call of Duty coming out at the end of it. October is absolutely packed. There is so much to play. If you already don't have a massive back catalog of games you want to check out, you're going to have something for you here before we end out the month. But I will end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.